Good afternoon, Belize. It's midday and you're tuned into the news at noon, where we bring you the latest updates from around the country. I'm Isana Cayetano and here's what's making headlines today. Government and unions unite to drive public sector reform in Belize. The MIDH says highway littering costs Belize more than just scenery. The tomb of Caracol's first king is unearthed, and HIV in the Caribbean, progress made, but challenges remain. These stories are coming up in just 1 minute.
I'm Brittany, one of the newest faces around here. My stories are heartfelt and bring a fresh perspective. On the job, there is no challenge too great. Flooded highways, raging fires, or asking tough questions. My determination and willingness to connect with people help to deliver stories that put you, our viewers, at the forefront of issues. My motto? Accurate, timely, and relevant. I am News 5.
Welcome back. This week in Belmopan, something important happened. Something that could shape the future of how government works in Belize. The Briceño administration and the trade unions sat down at the same table, not to argue, but to collaborate. Chaired by Deputy Prime Minister Colonel Hyde, the meeting brought together leaders from the Belize National Teachers Union, the Public Service Union, and the Association of Public Service Senior Managers. They are out to tackle some of the biggest challenges in the public service, like how to collect taxes more effectively, how to save money without cutting corners, and how to fix a pension system that may not be sustainable in the long run. But it wasn't just about numbers. The conversation also focused on people, specifically the thousands of public officers who keep the country running. How do we boost their morale? How do we make government more transparent? And how do we ensure that public services are truly serving the public? Deputy Prime Minister Hyde commended the unions for their ongoing cooperation, calling it a model of how government and labor can work together. Presentations from 3 committees sparked deep conversations, and while the reports are still in progress, union leaders say they're already seeing signs of real progress. But here's what we're asking. Will these discussions lead to real change? Can this partnership between the government and the unions deliver a public service that's more efficient, more accountable, and truly centered on the needs of the people? There's some exciting buzz coming out of the jungles of Western Belize, something that could totally change what we thought we knew about the ancient Maya. The Institute of Archaeology has just confirmed a groundbreaking discovery at the Caracol archaeological site. Archaeologists led by renowned doctors Arlen and Diane Chase have uncovered what they believe is the tomb of Caracol's very first king. That's right, the founding ruler of one of the most powerful Maya cities has finally been found. This discovery isn't just exciting for Belize, it's a major moment for Mesoamerican history. We spoke with Dr. Melissa Badillo, director of the Institute of Archaeology, to learn more about what this means for Caracol, for Belize, and for the story of the ancient Maya.
The new find at Caracol was discovered earlier this year under the direction of Dr. Arlen and Diane Chase of the Caracol Archaeological Project, who work with permit issued to them from the Institute of Archaeology. This was actually their 39th season of archaeological research being conducted in Belize at Caracol. And, over the years, it has become very systematic, their approach to excavations at the site and to, discovering those nuances of the history of Caracol. And it so turned out that this year they were very excited when they came across a tomb in structure B34 in the northeast Acropolis, which has resulted in some very significant information that we can add to the Caracol history. What we have is the remains of an individual who we believe is the first founder and first elite king of the site at Caracol. And we know this through the finds that were associated with the tomb, including, a funerary jadeite mask, some jadeite ear flares, pendants, carved bone implements, and a variety of vessels also associated with the tomb. It also had the hematite covering, which is a red in color natural pigment that is used in elite circumstances.
If you've taken a drive along our highways lately, you may have noticed something that's hard to ignore, and it's not scenery. The Ministry of Infrastructure, Development and Housing is raising the red flag on a growing problem, litter. Yes, those beautiful stretches of road that wind through some of the country's most stunning landscapes are being spoiled by the piles of trash. And it's not just an eyesore, it's a threat to wildlife, the environment, and even public health. The ministry says it's now spending valuable time and resources cleaning up the mess, resources that could be going toward fixing roads and building new infrastructure. Chief Engineer Evandale Moody is speaking out, urging Belizeans to take pride in their country and help turn the tide on this troubling trend.
The littering is a significant additional cost that we have incurred and we continue to incur. The ministry basically has to spend at least 2 days out of the 6 days, because generally we work up until Saturdays. And so at least 2 days out of every week, we have to be spending time picking up garbage along our highways. This is not just for the George Price Highway, it's all the highways countrywide. And so that has a cost to it, because we have to employ personnel to do that type of work. We have to provide safety vests for them to utilize. We have to pay for the garbage bags for us to load the trash in. We have to pay for gloves. We have to pay for the transportation, because it's not just 5 miles. We have to do the entire length of the highway, and each district is responsible for a certain section. So that has a significant cost to us. Littering has become a huge problem, because every week we pick up more than the previous week. And we have noticed that the locations that we're picking up garbage from, we're also picking up household garbage. So it seems as though residents are taking their household garbage and leave it out there for us to pick up. And the MIDH is not a garbage company. Honestly, we pick up the garbage because when we cut the highways to do vegetation control, the garbage are there. So it doesn't make sense for us to leave it there. And so we try to ensure that once we're doing vegetation control, we come behind and we pick up the garbage at the same time.
The Caribbean has made real progress in the fight against HIV. Since 2010, new infections have dropped by 21% and AIDS-related deaths are down 62%. But behind those numbers lies a more complex story. According to UNAIDS, about 340,000 people in the region are living with HIV. Most know their status and many are receiving treatment, but not everyone. Children and men are less likely to be on treatment or have their virus under control compared to women. Young people aged 15 to 24 make up a quarter of the new infections, often because they lack access to prevention services designed for them. And for key groups like gay men, transgender people, and sex workers, the risk remains extremely high. In some countries, HIV rates amongst transgender people reach a staggering 60%. Money is another challenge. Over 2/3 of HIV funding in the region comes from international donors. That means programs are vulnerable if that support dries up. Haiti, for example, relies almost entirely on outside funding. Legal and social barriers also stand in the way. While some countries have decriminalized same-sex relationships, others, including Trinidad and Tobago, still criminalize them. Sex work and drug possession are also illegal in most places, making it harder for people to get the help they need. The Caribbean has come a long way, but the fight isn't over. That's a wrap for the news at noon. But don't worry, there's plenty more coming your way at 6 p.m. We'll dive deeper into these stories and more. In the meantime, visit greaterbelize.com and follow us on Facebook for real-time updates. And don't miss Open Your Eyes tomorrow morning for fresh takes on today's headlines. Thanks for tuning in, Belize. Stay informed, stay inspired, and have a fantastic afternoon.